Modern warfare is not unique. It is the clearest, most financially successful expression of a pattern that has existed in gaming for decades. Tamoor Hussain in Kotaku says, "For as long as I can remember, video games have used Middle Eastern settings for first-person shooting. That has significantly impacted how the world sees that region and people from there. The pattern operates through what you might call the gaming equivalent of Hollywood's yellow filter, the warm, desaturated visual grading applied to scenes set in Mexico or the Middle East as a shorthand for poverty, heat, and danger. In games, that becomes sandy textures, crumbling minarets, generic Arabic signage, destroyed infrastructure, and hot light." Nadia Shammas in Kotaku says, "The fact that a shitty Arabic country visual shorthand already exists says enough. A shorthand that, by the way, did not exist. It had to be punched into culture over and over and over again for it to stick in the subconscious." The kufiya, Shammas discusses this specifically, the kufiya is a traditional Palestinian cultural garment. It has specific regional and historical meanings, including as a symbol of Palestinian identity and resistance. In CSGO, for example, the kufiya appears as a terrorist costume. You might want to remove the desire from indigenous Palestinian people to wear the kufiya, so it shows up as a terrorist garb in fucking CSGO. That's the point. But what does this do to the people being represented? Shammas again, "If that's the framework you're given, that your country can only look shitty and your people can only look poor and they're only ever screaming, fighting, or dying, then that's how you see yourself. Then you no longer want to be that, and that pushes you into whiteness." And from a funding point of view, it's not enough to criticize what gets made. You have to ask why certain things do not get made. Rami Ismail says on Palestinian developers, "The Palestinian developer that did Layla and the Shadows of War is trying to make a game about the Nakba, the catastrophe that displaced 700,000 Palestinians. That's not going to get funded. But they are now fundraising online, so if you'd like to support them, I will have a link in the description." But who gets to tell which stories? Who gets the capital? The answer shapes culture as much as any single game. We've been circling Christensen's theoretical framework all video, so let's land on it now. Jean Baudrillard, the French philosopher, argued that in postmodern societies we have replaced reality with representations of reality, and that these representations have become more real to us than the things they represent. He called this simulacra, copies without originals. His most famous application of this was the Gulf War. In his 1991 essay, "The Gulf War Did Not Take Place," Baudrillard argued that the Western experience of the Gulf War was entirely mediated, screened, framed, narrated, and packaged. Western audiences did not experience the Gulf War, they experienced a representation of the Gulf War. The CNN's Gulf War, the Department of Defense's Gulf War. Modern warfare makes this literal. Uzbekistan is a simulacrum. It's not based on any single country. It's assembled from the American imaginary's accumulated images of the Middle East, which is itself a copy of Orientalist scholarship, which was itself already a copy of earlier texts. There is no original. There is no real Uzbekistan from which this game has been derived. There is only the feeling of the Middle East assembled from decades of news coverage, film, television, games, and works of previous Orientalists, and that feeling has been mistaken for knowledge. Christensen's summary of Uzbekistan is worth quoting at length here. Uzbekistan, the playground, the battleground, the site of atrocities, the victim of empire, the former Soviet state, the Middle Eastern country, the stand-in for Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, and Syria. Uzbekistan, the unknowable, the unreal, the familiar, the abstraction, the excuse.